Hi, I'm Euge Valovirta, and this is the second episode of my in-depth series. This time we're gonna look at Extreme's brand new single Rise. Amazing song. Boys are back and Nuno is as good as ever, if not better. Amazing song, amazing solo. Oh boy. Let's listen a playthrough. First me playing the song with my made in Japan N4 equipped with FU Jones stuff into Sunny Cake's Rude Mouse, which is a copy of Rat. Level around 2 o'clock, filter around noon, gain barely open. Into ADA MP1 preamp, into Mesa Boogie Mark V's power amp, then into two Marshall cabinets, 1960BX with greenbacks, mic with a single Sennheiser E906, and the other cabinet is my Marshall Vintage cabinet with the Marshall Vintage speakers, the original V30s, and that I'm micing with a single SE Electronics VR1 ribbon mic, and the sound is a blend of those. After the playthrough, I'm gonna take you to my DAW and I'm gonna show you what I did in the mix, because there will be some effects and stuff you will hear, but the way I recorded, it was just this bone dry stuff. Everything else you will hear I did afterwards. So, welcome aboard, let's listen a song, and then let's check out the mix and recording. I will show you and, reveal you some cool production tips and plugins, what I used and what you can use, obviously, too. Alright, Extreme Rise. welcome to my DAW. And I forgot to say that both microphones go into Warm Audio's WA412 mic preamp, which is like API style mic preamp, get really punchy vibes. So yeah, the Mixbus is the same as always. I have a SOFTUBE's Chandler Limited curve bender here. You know, it works inside the console one because I use the console one always. A little bit of, you know, 0.5 kilohertz boost and 20k. That's just the way I like how it makes my virtual SSL 4000E, which is in the console, makes it sound. Adds a little bit mid, adds a little bit more, extends the top a little bit. Then it goes to two hardware devices, which is this I/O. They are solid states SSL's Fusion, stereo analog color mixing, mastering, Mixbus processor. There's a little bit vintage drive, a little bit high frequency compressor, a little bit stereo image widening, and that's it. And then on the SSL's insert point before the violet EQ, there is a TEGELER Audio Manufacturer's Creme RC, which is two devices in one. Full textile EQ, I'm boosting a little bit lows, 100 Hz and a little bit 12K. And then it also is a SSL style bus compressor, you know, SSL, kind of like SSL Mojo. And 4:1 ratio, auto release, 10 milliseconds attack, and you know, that's it. Sidechain low at 60 Hz, so it doesn't react to kick that much. And then it's a limiter, this wise limiter set up to -1, so just preventing peaks, and stylish punch and 76% of punch. That's the Mixbus. That's the, you know, version you just heard. I didn't master this or anything. Drums. Let's go this quickly because most of you are probably interested in guitars. So this is the same kit I used on my previous in-depth, or the first in-depth video, which was about Mötley Crüe's Power to the Music. Same kit, I just mixed this a little bit differently for this song. So, and everything here is bone dry, natural, you know, full bleed and stuff. So I do everything, I mix these like real drums. And the way I always set up my drums is first is the individual drum tracks, instruments, then they go to these buses. These two kicks, kick and kicks up go to kick bus, snare top, snare bottom go to snare bus, toms go to tom bus, overheads go to overhead bus, ambience mics, room mics goes to ambient bus, and then all these buses goes to this drum bus. And if we listen the drums only, so now there's no parallel compression, no reverb. Pretty okay, but I want them to be more. So, parallel compression and parallel EQ also. I have a Pultec here, I'm boosting highs and lows. Old trick, invented in New York back in the 60s, I guess. Why the reverb isn't working? So that's certain thing, and I want to show you a few cool plugins what I use a lot with drums. OEKSOUND Sooth, Finnish company. I'm just taming hi-hat, a little bit of harshness. This is awesome plugin. And also taming the ride a little bit. And I'm also taming overheads. And the ambience bus. If you listen that soloed, and a classic, you know, 1176 FET compressor, all buttons in, but I'm not driving this too hard. I'm only getting like a couple of dB of compression, but check it out when I take it away. Well, there's almost 5 dB of compression, but it kind of explodes the room. Medium attack, medium-ish release. So this just works. This setup, I don't actually remember if I tweaked. Probably not. Kind of my, you know, sometimes I use different plugins, but the CLA 76 always works by Waves. And then I want to show you another thing, which is really cool. I recently got this. It's a Waves BB Tubes plugin. Check it out. What it does to the drums. The drums, I mean, if we take it away, they sound really good. This just adds certain weight to the drums. Amazing plugin, and I'm hardly, you know, using it, but it's just, everything is very mild, but it just gives this depth and this, and this works on many other, with vocals, with guitars, whatever, but on this mix I only use this on drums. Absolutely great plugin, strong recommendation. It's a Waves plugin. And I have an affiliate link to Waves, so if you purchase anything via my link, which is in the description below, I get a small commission, which is much appreciated. So yeah, this is great. They also have a Magma BB channel strip, which has EQ also involved, but in this case, this worked really well. So yeah, that's about the drums. The bass is what I always use, usually 2 channels, BOGREN's bass knob, SOFTUBE's opto compressor, Waves, R-bass to add some sub thumb. Then SOFTUBE's Marshall Murder 1 for the clanky sound. Again, opto compressor. And then they go to the bass bus where I'm EQing, so I'm boosting 5K, 5 dB, and cutting a little bit of the low mono wave and stuff. So the bass sounds like this. Little bit of opto compressor to tame it down. Cool. And this Extraverb I wasn't using, but I usually have their Waves CLA Epic, 4 delays, 4 reverbs, great plugin, or then I use a Waves H reverb, that 80 snare, it's a gated snare preset. It's great reverb tube. The H series in general from Waves are really easy to use and sound great. Okay, then the guitars. Let's go where they are here. So this LE906 LVR1, this was the performance you saw. So, and this is the same performance, I just cut it to center, because probably you noticed the fills kind of came more center, so I just cut, put it here, and the solo, again I cut, and then I put it to another tracks, it just goes to this lead bus, because there's quite a few things going on. And then these two, this is the double I recorded afterwards, the rhythm guitar double. And the guitars sound like this. So they're panned hard left, hard right, what I usually do. And there's no EQ on individual tracks, only the SSL drive is 5. It's a little bit thickness to that. And as you can see, the E96 is quite a bit louder than the VR1, the ribbon mic. It sounds like this. So it just adds a certain depth and body to the guitar sound. And then I've done the EQ on this bus. So low cut 50 Hz, high cut, I boosted a little bit 100 Hz, and I cut it some 800 out. It kind of cleared the sound a little bit, and I added some 16K. But with SSL, when you add 16K, it just doesn't just boost 16K, you know, it boosts a lot more. So this nice curve probably was there or somewhere. So just to add a little bit air. Cool. Then other stuff, what I always use, Waves C4 multiband compressor. Check it out. You know, it compresses the low mid, so it kind of opens clears the guitars. They're not so. So I really, this is what I use always. Then again, a little bit soothe to tame down some harshness, because you know I have a high boost there on my Mixbus and stuff, and when I recorded this it sounded great, whatever, but then when I boosted highs, I felt I need the presence boosting highs, then it get a little bit harsh. So this is just a EV guitar. I think this is Knowledge preset. Maybe I tweaked it a little bit, but you know, Knowledge preset, Knowledge Gate Goose, it comes with this plugin. You know, it just smoothens it out a little bit, and I can, you know, boost the highs to get the presence. And then after that, I felt that there was a little bit still. So there was two frequencies that were kind of like whistling. So I just cut those out. A lot better. Usually there's always something between 3 or 5K that sometimes are a little bit disturbing, especially if you boost the highs like I like to do to make them more. And that's the rhythm guitars. No compression, nothing. And I'm blending in a little bit of Dimension D and Short Room. Dimension D is this one, Arturia's plugin. And the Short Room is SOFTUBE's Jar. Kind of to get again a little bit air, a little bit of room. So if we take those out, it just makes the guitars a little bit bigger and wider, the chorus and the room. Cool. Then lead guitar. On the original version, there's this kind of like flanger octave thing that starts to creep in. It gets really loud. Obviously, I don't know how they did it. I did it this way that I'm gonna show you. So I basically just copied this track to here and then edited. So this isn't a separate performance. I tried playing a separate performance like with the octaver on, like high one octave up. It didn't work. It sounded too good because I wanted it to sound kind of like effed up. So I just copied that. So it's exact same waveform. So they're kind of canceling each other or something. But what I did here on these two, let's actually listen that. Let's listen that in solo first. If we listen these two solos. So there's a whammy on both. This is a stock plugin from, Logic stock plugin. Octave up, 50-50. So it's if we listen this. Then compressor to even it out to make it really like that. And you know what I mean. And then another Logic stock plugin. It's great, like, you know, guitar pedal plugins. Flange Factory, D-Flange, I think I tweaked it a little bit. I just wanted it to sound weird, because it's kind of like that on the original, but you know, this was my version. And it's panned, this whole guitar lead bass is panned a little bit to the left, kind of like on the recorded version. And I panned these two, so it's kind of a little bit more left. And then there's again C4 taming down the low mids, because I played some things, you know, on the lower string, the arpeggio stuff. So, you know, and the same soothe, same Pro Q settings, because it was the same take, same microphones, the Sennheiser and the VR1. And then I'm blending in Eventide, and it's not from the beginning. So if we listen to the solo and check what happens in these faders. So the Eventide comes in a certain part, then the throw delay. So the Eventide is this one, it's Eventide's plugin. The throw delay is the CLA Epic I mentioned. And then there's normal delays on all the time. It's TC Electronics, you know, TC2290, legendary plugin. Yep. Delay, but this is their TC's own plugin version of that. So let's listen to the solo and pay attention to the faders, what happens, because there's things coming in and coming out and more Eventide coming in, so it widens it and stuff. So, you know, you can create so many cool sounds afterward, that's how they are usually done. And then live, you just gotta figure out whether you wanna try to reproduce those, or well, do you just play like me? I play usually bone dry, one sound, you know, live is live. And that Dimension D you saw there, because there was no rhythm guitars, but that's bass. So I'm blending a little bit bass, you know, to that Dimension D2, or the Dimension D is blended to the bass. And then there's keyboards on the original, so I just wanted to create some space or whatever. So I just recorded this really simple, clean guitar. This is the ADA's, the solid state clean channel. So it's like this. So I'm blending a lot of stuff because I kind of want it to sound a little bit like keyboard. So there's the Dimension D blended in, the Symphonic, you know, SPX90 Symphonic preset plugin. There's the Eventide, Tape Echo, and Medium Room. What I have here, it's the TAR1, same as my short room, but set up a little bit differently. So these are kind of my go-to effects that I'm just sending stuff. You know, like what you will do on a, you know, old school mixing desk. And I've compressed them heavily, as you probably heard. And I used a chorus when I recorded the chorus ensemble, but I wanted to have more chorus. So there's Dimension, SPX90, a lot of stuff. But you know, you do what you need to do to get the results you want. But always you try to record the sound, you know, as close as possible. But I knew what I was doing, so I just wanted to record a clean guitar sound with a little bit of CE5 and then do the rest afterwards. Apparently there was one frequency that was disturbing me a little bit. Yeah, that was the mix and production. Obviously, I play like I play, even though I had the same guitar, don't sound like Nuno. The solo, I kinda did a little bit what Nuno did the beginning, there's this tremolo kind of stuff, you know, D minor blues scale, and then the arpeggio thing. I mean, I don't know, I have no idea, you know, how Nuno played that, but I checked the video, so, but it's kind of this, so you hit string and then you kind of do hammer-ons from nowhere to different strings. It took me a while, so I practiced it a bit, like really slowly, because it's really fast, so at least my brain isn't fat enough so I could think what I do. I just practice it slowly so much that so that I could play the lick, you know, while watching TV or whatever. And then when I played it, when you saw it, it was just like I wasn't thinking. My hand just went. So it's a lot of coordination because you're hitting many times a different string than you're actually fingering, and it creates this nice. It's a classic Nuno. I love that stuff. I use that. Similar stuff also a lot, completely stolen from Nuno. So thanks. Sorry, apologies. But surprisingly, quite a few people haven't mentioned Nuno when they mentioned me. You know, Zakk Wylde is always mentioned. Well, I kind of get it, but there's so much Nuno on my playing, and this solo is so great because there's this blues scale, chromatic passing tones, chromatism. Yeah. Hey, thanks for watching. Hopefully you learned something from this. And like I said, check out the links in the description below. Some of them are my affiliate links of these you know, plugins that I actually use. So you can, you know, buy those too. And yeah, I don't know how many of you noticed, but this is in a different key. The original version is in drop D. Mine, this one is in drop D flat. Why? Well, because this guitar just happened to be in drop D flat. And you know how it is to set up Floyd Rose, the different tuning, intonate, everything. So, and because I played everything, I programmed the drums, played the bass. So I just thought that, okay, let's do this half step lower in a different tuning. So yeah, that's it. All the best, take care, bye.